good day. It's Taking Back Canada with Katie. And I just want to talk about the upcoming BC election in 10 days. And before I do that, though, I just want to comment on the video that I made last week where I talked about I fought and appealed my home assessment and won. And I thought it was really funny that they're not done with us yet. Yesterday, my husband got a phone call and they want to come and take pictures and measurements of our house. He told them no. Well, he sort of said that we were busy and we'd have to be here. And I did look it up though, and in some section 14 of the Assessment Act, they can come onto your property to take photos or measurements on the outside. I don't believe they can come inside. So looks like, yeah, the ink wasn't even barely dry on our winning assessment documentation, and they're already coming after us to find any way they can spike it back up. But no big surprise, right? Okay, so maybe that's even more important while we talk about what's going on in BC. So I'm about to go out door knocking this afternoon with the campaign manager in the part of the Caribou where I'm in, supporting Sheldon Clare. And what last night the debate was on, I think, was it Global that had that? And I tried to watch it. I was trying to watch it on Clyde Do Something. I just found it so irritating because John is a gentleman and they just kept over talking him. So I just felt grumpy and I shut it off and whatever, I'll watch it tomorrow. But then, I was getting curious and I picked up my phone and guess what was trending #1 on Twitter? John Rustad. So this is really cool because there is so much bullshit going on right now with the polls. If you've been following it, if you're like excited about getting the NDP out and getting the BC Conservatives in, they were riding really high for a couple days in the polls on Canada 338. And all of a sudden it just pivoted and it turned again. And they're trying to show that NDP's way ahead again for the chances of getting a majority of seats. And it's very obvious that the polls are rigged at this point because if you talk to any sane person, they want NDP out. It's been 7 years. We have homeless camps, addicted people, $100 bags of groceries, cost of living, affordability, lack of apartments, homes, just catch and release the crime. And now, of course, they don't want to speak out against the flag burning going on in our country, the NDP. So, well, they'll make a statement, but that's it. I got a little clip here I'm going to show you in a minute from Moose on the Loose. I really enjoy watching him. He's a guy from the Vancouver Island. Him and his wife, his former wife, used to run a notary public together. And he's very, very intelligent, but he's funny. And he's really good at doing the body language, like when he's, kind of scrutinizing things in the House of Commons or the so-called leaders getting uncomfortable. He's really good at spotting that. So I've got a little clip from him, and then I have another clip from John Rustad that he posted yesterday from the art gallery in Vancouver, speaking out against the flag burning and cries of, "Drrr" to Canada, and vowing that he will not allow that to happen when he's our premier.
The Hamas members at the Vancouver Library were chanting "Death to Canada" and "We are Hamas" and the whole thing. John Rustad came out with an actual video condemning this, which is I think every politician in BC should be doing.
Hi, John Rustad here. I'm out in front of the art gallery where last night a mob came and burnt a Canadian flag, threatened Canadians.
So I can't really play the rest of this. He keeps using the word threatened and some other words. YouTube doesn't like those words. But anyways, he actually went to the art gallery and filmed this. This is the way to do this. David Eby or his team just sent out a one-liner and that was it. That's typical leadership or lack of leadership from David Eby. We've got this one posted by Wyatt. The split screen on David Eby is so bad. He keeps staring at John Rustad and making annoying side jabs and adolescent interruptions. Yeah, he's like a toddler, throwing tantrums the entire time. Just terrible performance from someone who's supposed to be the premier. You notice this if you watch the debate. Rustad's, standing forward, looking forward, at a podium. David Eby just keeps talking over him and staring at him. It's just David Eby did this on the first debate too, just constantly talking over. Is just an arrogant man who's not willing to listen to anything. He's just a giant ego, thinks he knows everything. Body language is so insane. I've got two quick clips from the debate, and then we'll jump into the Vasi interview. Both these clips, John Rustad is absolutely destroying David Eby.
That our economy is in shambles. We're talking about the fact that crime is running rampant. These are the things that the people are concerned about. David Eby wants to talk about conspiracy theories and anything but what's actually going on, because he cannot defend his government's policy. 7 years, can anybody say that anything is better in British Columbia? Is anything better? Certainly, I haven't been able to find anybody to say that there is.
Checkmate, man. I mean, go to a playground, you see people, doing stuff with the hard candy. Like, our province is absolutely nuts. So at the end of the debate, they are all given a brief moment here to just give a little speech. And this was the kill shot for John Rustad to David Eby.
Thank you very much. And I want to thank the listeners, thank the viewers for participating, for seeing this night, for watching, and for caring about British Columbia. I care deeply about this province, too. I care about the fact that our youth want to be able to have a future here. I care about the fact that our youth want to be able to have safety here. We have a government that kicks out a Jewish cabinet minister, Singer Robinson, to appease a mob who last night was burning flags in front of the art gallery. I find that incredibly offensive. In British Columbia, we want to make sure we build that positive opportunity for people to have that future. It's why our entire plan is about putting you first, whether it's healthcare and patients first, whether it's our economy and making sure you can build a job, whether it is the investments that are needed for infrastructure. I'm a proud Canadian, and I can tell you the Conservative Party of British Columbia will bring forward a common sense plan that will deliver real prosperity for everyone here in British Columbia. Thank you for watching this evening.
Okay, Lee.
It's game over, man. And just to show you what Wyatt was talking about, every single time Rustad's talking, you get a side view of Eby.
We have actually
He looks like a vulture.
People arrested and distributing drugs in those facilities. These sort of things need to be shut down. Policy for this type of an approach in British Columbia. He has done nothing. He has not even addressed the facilities where there was a problem.
He just talks over them. They were given specific rules that they're supposed to talk and then they're supposed to listen. And David Eby does not adhere to those rules. He's an arrogant man-child who thinks he's better than everyone else.
Arrogant
it doesn't matter
man-child.
where you scroll through here. It's the same thing. Here's another one. This is 10 to 15 minutes earlier.
Big companies, it's mom and pop. Whether they're investing in a second home or whether they're... Hi, John Rustad here. I'm out in front of the art gallery where last night a mob came and burnt a Canadian flag, threatened Canadians, threatened United States, threatened Jewish people. I find this sort of violence completely unacceptable. This sort of hate should have no place in British Columbia, and we've had a premier who is silent on this. He refuses to crack down on this in British Columbia. This is unacceptable to us. A Conservative government will make sure we crack down on this type of hate. There is no place for that in British Columbia.
So my big thing, why I'm here today, just before I go door knocking, okay, I want to know, are you just assuming that they're going to win? Besides voting, which yes, you need to vote, that's really important. If you can, try and go to the advance polls, because when it gets down to election day, we're going to be sitting there with a pen, ruling out, focusing on everybody that hasn't voted advance. And those are the people we'll target to say, hey, make sure you get in and vote. So the more people that vote in the advance polls, it makes our job easier to get the remaining. And heck, we'll offer them rides, do whatever we can do to get them out and vote. This is so important. It's an historical election. So my next question to you is, have you donated anything? To be a member is $10, no big deal. Even if you donate $10, $20, if you can afford more, that's great. If you can't, then I hope that you're not buying a bunch of crap you don't need on Amazon, or buying sugary, fattening, unhealthy lattes every day, because this is much more important. This is our future, and our kids' future depends on this election. It's so important, right? You get that? Okay, so if you don't have the money to donate, but you really want NDP out and you want BC Conservatives to win, other ways you can get involved, even though there's only 10 days left, we're still putting out signs. We're still going out door knocking. It's proven, it's an actual fact that the number of people you can secure door knocking that you've spoke to and you've identified them and they want to vote, that base is what's going to get that candidate elected and secure those number of seats. Maybe you can't walk, you don't have the mobility, or maybe you're worried that you have to talk. You don't. If you're with the candidate or the campaign manager or just someone experienced that knows what they're talking about, you're just there with the clipboard recording information, right? You're just taking down their name and phone number and address, asking if they want to sign. Something just dripped on my head. Surprised that Chippy's not back here trying to get in on the action. Chipmunk always runs around. So other ways too are phone calls, right? We're going to need like people making phone calls to driving people in at the last minute. And I don't mean like fundraising. They have people to do that. This will be more just grassroots people phoning saying, hey, I noticed doesn't see you've been in to vote. Are you coming in? So we're going to need that too. All right. I hope I didn't miss anything. I got to get going soon. My blue shirt's in the wash, so I will wear my tag. And it's going to be interesting to see the vibe today after last night's debate, because John Rustad killed it. He was awesome. And if you just watched, it's so funny. Well, I'll show you the clips here. I just included one or two. I'm sure you've seen. If you haven't, start having a look. And what's interesting to me is that the NDP, they really think that they're staying in power. And what they did while they were in power all these years was they changed the fundraising to private people only. So no more companies, no businesses. They can't donate. So it actually makes it 10 times harder for anyone new to raise the funds to get into office. So keep that in mind when you're considering a donation. Also, the bought and paid media, just like what I said about those polls that I watched on Canada 338, for a while there, it's been going up and down a little, 1 or 2 points. But the bottom part, when you scroll down, would be saying that, NDP was ahead by 10, 12 points for securing the actual election or the most seats. And then last week when John Rustad was exposed for coming out and speaking about he wished he'd never gotten that he doesn't respect what BH stands for and believes it's about depopulation, he roared right up. The polls just climbed, including securing the seats and the odds of winning. And all of a sudden now that's changed, and it's quite dramatic. But when you look and you go to CTV or Global or any of these mainstream medias spewing out their propaganda, trying to put EB in a good light, you just go and read the comments and you'll see that's not what Canadians are thinking. The only people I meet when I'm out door knocking that want the NDP in is people that still think it's 1995 or 2002. They work in the schools or nurses, they're in unions. They don't understand that the unions have been deeply infiltrated. I think these people are exhausted and tired, and they take in what they're fed or told to think or feel. I also noticed that there's a lot of TV watchers, as we call them, right? When we just shake our head, but these are the people that they're retired now, and they're not at work, they're not around the water cooler, and they're watching CBC and CNN, and they're being told what to think. They're not out there, and some of them haven't felt the pain yet. They're still in their own bubble where financially things haven't impacted them, and they don't have a clue how rough it is for people in BC. So most people do. So most of you watching, please, got 10 days left. What can you do to help? We need so many votes that it's too big to rig. Okay? Too big to rig. Let's do it. Boom. Have a great day.